Hey guys, just going to do a quick demo video and show you guys different tools that we have, how to use them, how to use them safely, and how to make sure you don't break them. So we're going to have some tools stashed out on the trail, and once you know where they are, you can help yourself. You're out for even, half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Every little bit helps. So I'm going to start off with one of the most classic tools. It's called a McLeod or a fire rake. It's got a cutting edge and a raking edge, and you can also tamp the trail with a nice flat surface there. We have a couple of specialty tools here. A company called Ronge out of the United States. Beautiful tool. This one's called the Beast. Big heavy hoe and an axe, so you can chop the roots and then till the earth when you're done. This is a really nice one tool that does it all kind of thing. It's called Travis tool, and it has a hoe side, rake side, scraper side, and you can also do a little bit of tamping with it. Real nice multi-purpose tool. This is one of Ronge's first, most classic tools. It's just a hoe. Ronge Hoe is the name of the company, and this is like their classic tool. So it's good for cutting and hoeing the ground, but you can also pick rocks out with it with this edge here. This one's a little bit of a shorter handle version, so good for kids or for people a little bit shorter. This is also a real classic tool, Pulaski or a fireman's axe. So you can cut the roots with this. You can kind of trench or hoe the earth a little bit with the other side. So it's really nice for doing the sides of the trail. It's probably my favorite tool to just kind of get things started. Like if I was coming up to a section like this, I might even just use the fireman's axe to kind of define my edges. So I kind of work along it with the Pulaski here. Then you see you can use the hoe side to kind of dig that trench in just to get things started, because it just cuts to the roots so nicely. Real nice tool. So that's real handy, that one. So a Pulaski and a McLeod, you can do almost anything. We have a couple other things that come in handy. So obviously a shovel. Remember, shovels are for digging, not for prying, because you will break it if you do that. And the last tool that we use here, a nice big pry bar. So if you need to move rocks, break some kind of a stump off like this, big root, you can only use the pry bar, not the other tools. They're not designed for doing that, and you will break the handles, and the replacement handles are pretty hard to get. So, I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown on how to do it, and it should be pretty easy for people to follow along and like I said, help out when you're on the trail. These tools with me, I probably would start off with either this Pulaski or with one of these hoes. I really like this Beast. Nice long handle, easy when I got the baby on the back. So I'll start off with that. So the first thing I want to do, just have a look here. I want to get rid of all the roots. So I can see I have some scraggly roots here. So I'm just going to kind of come along and I'm just going to chop the roots that are left. So the mini excavator definitely removes a lot of material, but it is hard to get all of the roots without really digging up the soil unnecessarily. So what I start doing is I kind of work the edge. So we're going to work an edge on each side. I'm going to make sure that I've cut the roots and make sure that I remove the organic matter. Organic matter is black, green, sticks, anything that rots. If it's brown, like something like this right here, that's good solid mineral soil. So it's going to compact down, it's not going to rot. So that's the stuff that we want on the trail. Something like this here, this black stuff, we want to get rid of that. That's organic, that will rot, and then it's going to kind of compact or make a bit of a dip or a divot in the trail, and it gets muddy, so we don't want any of that stuff. We want to get rid of all of it. So just keep working along the edge. The ground is still a little bit frozen, which is why the tool isn't really digging in very well right now. But some spots are better than others. It'll just be a few days. So you can see here I've cut all the roots away, and I'm just checking, did I get all of the organic out? See, here's a little pocket of organics, an old rotten log of some sort in there. So I'm going to get rid of that. Keep working it over until I'm sure that I've gotten rid of it. Looks pretty good. So then I would just keep going along and just working the edge. I can work in this direction, or I can work in this direction. It doesn't really matter, but the important thing is that you get rid of all the organic material. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just trench a section of trail for maybe 10 or 15 feet with one tool, because that's my good trenching tool. Then I'm going to switch and use one of the tools that's better for removing the material that I've dug up. So same thing on the other side. Just trying to focus on getting a little bit of a trench on the outside of the trail. And the reason for that is we want the middle of the trail to be higher than the outside of the trail. That's going to help the water to drain off. And over time, as the traffic moves on the middle of the trail, it is going to compact the middle more than the sides. So it is important that you have a little bit of a rounded top, or a crown as they would often refer to it. So I've dug it up a little bit. Now I'll try one of the other tools just to remove that material that I dug up. Well, plows is a good choice for that. So what I'm doing now is I just want to dig out any of the organic. So I see I have a little bit of organic here. I'm going to dig it, kind of get rid of that organic material. Over here there's a little bit as well, some sticks and stuff. So the key thing when you're raking is you don't want to dig in too hard. You just kind of scrape on the top. Let the rake do the work for you. So here as well, there's just some sticks, a little bit of organic. Just scrape that stuff, and then just drag it off to the side. So once I'm happy that I've gotten rid of most of the organic matter, so I only really see brown, I can then kind of finish off the section and maybe give it a quick tap. So it's really quite frozen here, but I'll see if I'll be able to dig up enough of the ground. And you can see when I'm working, I'm not really swinging that hard with the tools, because you don't really need to. And once you start swinging real hard, that's when you start to break things. So it's not necessary, it's a lot safer. Also, if you don't swing so hard, you see how frozen that ground is there. So maybe I'll just do it back here where it's not so bad. I'm not sure if Savannah really likes this or not, but that's too bad. Yes, she likes it. Okay, so if it wasn't so frozen, I could get a little more material out. But basically what I do, take that material from the sides, I pull it to the middle, I move to the other side, and I do the same thing. Remember, we're not building a really wide trail, so this is pretty good. So you can see I have some material here in the middle. Middle's higher than the sides. And then to finish it off, I'm going to come back with my McLeod. And I'm just going to tamp it, just so I can try to achieve that nice round shape. So the idea being that these sides here are lower, so you can see that if there was water, and I poured water on top, that it should roll off on either side. Some people get real fancy, they'll bring a tennis ball or something else to check for that. Probably not necessary most of the time, but that's the general idea. We'd like a little bit more material on top if we could, because it's still not crowned that much, but we'll work with that for now. So essentially that's all you got to do. And you know, if you don't know what to do specifically, you're a little bit nervous but finishing a section off completely like that, then you know what, the number one thing you can do is you just come along and just trench the edges. So that's real easy and really helpful. Just come along and just use one of the tools to just dig the trench on the side. You don't need to move any material. Just be careful that you don't pry on the roots too much, because there will be roots. But if you're able to trench the side, in this case I might cut some of those roots that are kind of holding me up there. But that would be a very helpful thing, would be to just set the edges, so to speak, clean up the edges. If you're not comfortable doing the rest for now, then that's totally understandable. you can just come along and just trench those edges. And if you're not sure where the edge is, always err on the side of being a little bit wider than narrower. So it's the general idea, and we'll try to arrange some time to have people come out and do a nice socially distanced in-person session. So yeah, if you have any questions, just post to the WhatsApp chat. Okay, I just wanted to do one more quick video and just show you guys what a finished section of the trail should look like. So this is an example of a section that turned out really nicely. So you can see very clearly on the sides there's a real shallow trench on both sides, and that material has been taken, folded over in the middle, and compacted really nicely. Oh, come on through, okay. And we're going to get a couple of people to test it out for us, so all the better. Sweet. We got a couple more test pilots on the way.
Here's our test riders.
Hit that rock.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about right there.
Good.
Oh, you're
No,
fine.
come on.
You're fine.
Come on.
Oh, I know. What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyways, this is a good example of a finished section here. You can see in this case, some of the bikes are starting to chew away at the side because there's a little bit on the narrow side. But in this case, we'll just bring in some more material. So if I was going to do this section for real, I have my 3 favorite tools. Yes, it's a dog. I have the Beast, the Pulaski, and the McLeod. There's not much you can't do without that combination of tools other than remove some big rocks. And prefer to use a machine for that if I can anyways. So I'm setting the edge, just cutting that organic matter back. This is a real easy section because there's not too many rocks or roots. Just some smaller ones. And you're going to notice how I have my feet set, or even if I slip and make a mistake, that the Pulaski is not going to catch me in the leg. So your foot positioning is critically important when you're working with the tools. And also, not swinging hard. As I mentioned earlier, it's not necessary to swing hard, and I'm really not swinging hard at all. So I'm just letting the tool do all the work for me. There's no need for me to really swing hard. More dangerous and less effective. So that's all you got to do. You see, the Pulaski doesn't look like much of a tool, but it's highly effective. Part of the reason that forest firefighters like it is because when you cut fire line, this is basically what you're doing. So cutting a trail, cutting a fire line are almost identical tasks. The only difference, we usually make them a little bit smoother with some cool flow. Firefighter doesn't care about that, but they want a tool that's going to get the job done for them very effectively. So I'm going to use my hoe, and I'm just going to pull the material up onto the trail with the hoe. So same thing, I'm really not swinging hard at all, just letting that tool do everything for me. So pull it into the middle, do the same thing on the other side. So once again, this section is really nice, so it's very easy to do. Not all sections are like this, of course, but what I'm trying to do is just define that trench, pull the material up onto the middle so it's got a nice crown. And you can see there's some rocks up in there, and we like to get rid of those. This trail we're trying to aim for a real easy introduction. As you can see, there's a lot of kids out here. We want to make it smooth, want to make it really encouraging, and we don't want to make anything too bumpy. So smooth it out. When I tamp, I usually like to tamp from the middle. I work my way out. That way, I just find that we're able to get the crown set a little bit better. Probably doesn't really matter after a few people go through. It's probably irrelevant how you do that, but whatever, just the way I do it. So in this case, it's a little bit narrow. I don't know if I really like how narrow that is. So I'm probably gonna dig out some more dirt from the side to add to the trail. And we're lucky here because we have a whole bunch of dirt with hardly any organic. So I'm gonna undercut this a little bit, pull out some more of that real nice mineral soil, and just pull it up onto the trail, push it along so I can just widen it out. So I mean, it's not strictly necessary to do that kind of building if you have a slope, of course, but we're building on flat ground here. So that looks pretty good. And just a nice width for bikes or walkers or whatever it may be.